Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Right, so in this one we're going to start off with the Aspire model, and the very first element of wellness according to the Aspire model is affluent wellness. Now this speaks to your financial well-being, and I took time to write an entire section that has got its own wealth creation model in that I've learned throughout my life and throughout research with other people, but I'm just going to briefly touch on financial wellness now. And it's very funny. People have a funny relationship with this thing they call money. They say money is the root of all evil. A coach once said to me that a person who says that money is the root of all evil is probably broke because they don't have a lot of it. So it sounded like a harsh truth, but it's probably true. They say money can't buy happiness, but it can make a good down payment, you know what I mean? So money is very important, and someone said to me that once you take care of your financial wellness, all areas of your life improve, which is very true. So I'm just going to break down different elements of financial wellness that you can consider, that I'm still trying to master in my own personal life, and I'll just go and break it down according to the Blissful acronym. The first one is budget. How is it that you can manage your money if you don't know exactly where it's going? So budget allows you for you to structure your money and for you to have rules as to where you're going to spend your money and where you're not going to spend your money. And probably if you're in financial trouble, you don't have a set budget that you stick to and that you work towards. The very first part is having a budget in place. The other part of affluent wellness is learn. There's a saying that people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. The more you learn, the more you earn. So the more you know about financial wellness and just money in general, then your financial wellness is going to improve. Then we talk about investing. It's not good enough for you to have money if you're not going to grow money and you're not going to keep money. So try at the best to invest in vehicles that are going to increase your money. Then we've got the save. It's very we have the sickness in South Africa where a lot of people don't save their money. They just want to just take their money and just blow it, and then they end up in financial trouble, and then they end up beggars and slaves to other people from a debt perspective, where they don't actually save. And there's some people who don't save for their retirement, and those people who get to the age of 65 and above, one of the first things that they will tell you, if you're starting out in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, the very first thing you should do is try and save for the rainy days. If you're not going to save the money, build a business that's going to take care of you in your older days. So that's what the S stands for in Blissful. The other S is called spend. Now, most people make the mistake of they skip the budget, the learn, invest, and the save, and they go straight to the spend part. They're just going to get their money and they just disperse it according to the highest values. Remember what I said, that where you spend your money is an indication of where your highest values are. And most people say they want to be wealthy, but it's not being demonstrated by how they spend their money. Here's a tip. The wealthiest people in the world that I've learned from, they say the very first thing that they spend their money on is investing and saving, and then they pay all the expenses and all the bills afterwards. So spend should be partially the last thing that you do whenever you get your money. The next part is have fun. It's not enough for you to invest your money and to save your money if you're not going to enjoy your money. A rule of thumb is for you to take 10% of what you earn and just blow it on something that you just want to spend on yourself. And what most people do, they blow all of their money on something that they want to spend for themselves, and they don't have anything for saving and investing. The next thing is unselfish giving. And if you are a giver with your money unselfishly to a certain cause, a certain belief, it is an indication that the cancer of greed has not consumed your soul. The biggest givers are oftentimes the richest people. If you were to think about Jack Ma, who is one of the richest men in China, one of the richest men in the world, he is the biggest philanthropist in China. He's got a net worth of over $30 billion, but he is the person that gives the most in China. Same thing with Bill and Melinda Gates. They're insanely wealthy, but they give a lot of their money to charity. So you have to. It's a good advice for you to take some of your money and give it to unselfish giving to a cause that you believe in. The next part is leverage and compound. And one of the biggest things when Warren Buffett, when he was being interviewed, they asked him, so how is it that you got rich? He named a couple of things. He said, number one, I was born in America. At the point in time, America was very rich with opportunities. South Africa was a great place, that's rich with opportunities as well. And then he said, I had good genes, so I was blessed with long life. And then the third part is compound interest. So if you invest your money in compounds over a long period of time, you can find yourself in a place where you are very wealthy. Most wealth creation books and financial education books will tell you for you to make the most out of compound interest. If you understand compound interest, you will earn it. But if you don't understand compound interest, you will pay it. So just be aware of leverage and compound. Then the last one is a legacy. And I read a book called by James E. Hughes called Family Wealth, and he talks about the steps that you can put in place to make sure that wealth is kept from generation to generation. Nowadays, most of the time you'll find that our family will accumulate wealth. The second generation will spend that wealth, and the third generation, all that wealth is dispersed. And one of the things he teaches is that put a systems in place for you to keep the wealth from generation to generation. So those are the simple concepts we talked about in affluent wellness and financial wellness. There's an entire section, an entire group of videos that I will do around that. Very, very fascinating, and I'm still trying to get that right myself. But those are ideas that I can share. So this wraps up the first era of holistic living called affluent wellness. And remember, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You doing what you've always wanted to do, not because someone else is telling you that you should do it, but because that's something that you inherently wanted to do.
It can be the day that turns your life around. All you need is a reason to turn you on. Today my life changes. Now who can do that? Anybody. When can you do it? Whatever day you pick.